All right, welcome everybody out to today's call, guys. I'm super excited, super pumped to give you guys an amazing call, to bring somebody out who I've been working with now for, man, I don't know, maybe he'll chime in and say, I think it's been about 8 years now since we met. And this guy, you know, he's actually the one that introduced me to cryptocurrency, or at least so he was the one that influenced me to actually buy some, right, way back in 2015. But anyhow, that's not the name of the call, cryptocurrency. The name of the call is Facebook Marketplace Flipping. And, again, this guy has been doing some amazing things, not just for himself, but, you know, in this industry there's a lot of people who have programs and systems and coaching, including myself. And, you know, a lot of times they can be, you know, out of reach for people, right, you know, high cost and things like that. You know, Jeff's got some stuff, and we'll bring him out here in just a minute, that is super attainable for anybody if you're willing to listen, right? So if you're listening to this call, I'm going to tune up the seriousness in this solely because I know that if you truly listen to this call and you take action on what he's about to give to you guys, all right, and we'll stay at a surface level, right, because it's a free call. Obviously, you know, you're going to get some really, really good value. But, you know, again, he wants to give you guys the value so you could go in, you could take action. So if I were you, I'd grab a pen, a notepad, a whiteboard, whatever you got, you know, and obviously you can download this call. But, again, this guy's great. You know, he's helping a lot of people, and like I said, not just for himself, but for other people at a level where, you know, it's attainable. And I don't just mean monetarily, you know, where they can purchase a course or do something like that, but where they can go in his group. And we'll talk more about that later. But where they can go in his group and pick up tidbits and then go out, apply them, and actually make money, right? And a lot of times that's the key in this industry because a lot of people get started and they need to make money, you know, not fork it over to someone, you know, to get started with the program or biz op or coaching or whatever the case may be. So, again, I'm super excited for him to come out, give you guys some value. There will be a part two, to this call, which is going to be actually a webinar. And so, again, we'll talk a little bit more about that at the end of the call and how you can get access to that. But first and foremost, I want to bring out Jeff Duhon, and he is the flip everything guy, right? So, Jeff, you there?
I'm here.
Cool. Yeah, I'm going to give you the floor, man. Like I said, you know, do your thing. Really appreciate you coming out and, you know, giving the value. And like I said, we've been working together, about 8 years now, seems, more or less?
It's I think it's 8. When you said 8, it sounded like longer than it was, but it might be closer to 7.
Okay.
But I know I just moved to San Diego at the end of 2013 is when we met, so
okay.
it is coming up on 8. And at the time I was doing insurance, and I would drive to Orange County. I'd book a bunch of appointments because that's where leads were up in Orange County, and then I'd book them back-to-back days, and you know, to save money, I would sleep in the back of my car, and it was just. It was as bad as it sounds, you know, and it wasn't that I was just trying to save money. It was just like I didn't have money to spend.
Right.
So that would be, that wouldn't even be accurate. And then on top of that, the money that I did have was for my wife's student loans. So
right.
it was, you know, like I was barely making it on borrowed money. And then you were in a lot of like network marketing, and so. At the time, it was DSD that got started, and as soon as I started making sales, I mean, I quit doing that stuff immediately. I started drop shipping, and that took me to a level of a new level of clarity where I could think straight and move forward. And it's been, you know, it's so many ups and downs since then, but I've been on my own, I guess you'd say, since then. And what happened is, you know, a lot of platforms don't like dropshippers, so eBay made it harder and harder and harder, and finally that crashed. I got on Amazon from the Amazon retail arbitrage perspective. Right. And, man, I was good at it. I enjoyed it. And I had a customer report my items as inauthentic, and even though I fought Amazon for months and months to tell them, like, no, it wasn't, here's my invoices and all these things, they just steamrolled me and kicked me off. So that was almost 2 years ago. And I spent 3-4 months just trying to figure out, like, what am I going to do? You know, I have no idea. It's like I spent so long having ideas of what I was going to do, and then one day I didn't have any of that. And so it took me a good 4 months before I contacted our buddy Jeremy Watson. I saw him flipping phones on just the local marketplace. And having come from a background of digital, I was like, man, this seems like just a big waste of time,
Right.
But I had nothing else. And so I had to humble myself and go to Jeremy and say, hey, man, can you show me a little bit about what's going on? And to his credit, he gave me all the goods. And it's just a testament to network, having you to really, really help me out early on, and just kind of like, guys, Jermaine inspired me to do things that are uncomfortable, like put myself out there and teach people. And we would go to these mansion masterminds that Jermaine would put on, and it was kind of like, not concerned with how much you're making is not important to us. We want to know who else you're helping. And that was just very significant lesson. And so even then, though, I didn't fully take that on for a long time. And so fast forward to beginning of last year, and I started flipping the phones. Pandemic started cranking up big time, and things slowed down a little bit. And so I had a buddy say, like, man, you got to put these weights, man. They're like gold. Like, you should do this. And so I was like, okay, I'll try it or something, So then I bought some stuff. That worked. Flipped that for some money. And then I was like, man, I want to buy some silver, because they're printing all this money. So I bought some silver. I called around town to the local dealers, bought the best price someone quoted me. So, which is like already marked up. And then out of curiosity, I listed on Facebook Marketplace for 15% above that, and I sold that. And so by this point, I'm thinking, man, I can flip anything, I'm like, whew. All right, so then, it just led to me experimenting in other niches, vacuum cleaners and like small appliances, maybe blenders, speakers, just kind of like playing around with that. And somewhere in that process, I created Smart Flippers, which is my Facebook group. And just being transparent with the crowd, I try to create that and charge immediately. And the truth is, I just hadn't built enough equity with the market to just come out of nowhere and start acting like people were going to trust me about my stuff. And I made a few sales. I had like 13 students in almost an entire year doing this. I had 13 students. And a few months back, the level of like misery and desperation hit me almost the exact same way as when I was sleeping in the back of my car. And what it was I realized, like, I'm just helping myself and my family, and that's it. And I have a gift. I have a gift for figuring out creative ways to make money. And I'm not sharing that gift with anyone. And to be honest, like, for you too, Jermaine, like, just providing for your family sounds like, I don't know, I don't want to say waste of time, but it sounds like just the most selfish thing I could possibly think of, especially when you have so much more to give. Like, taking care of your family, that's like the easy part. Anything that's easy eventually just gets, if nothing else, boring. So a year after creating Smart Flippers, I just went full in teaching this stuff, and that's my free group. And I go over all my deals, what I pay for them, what I sell them for, who buys them, the profit and the mistakes that I make, and everything in between. And I've always had a preference for, or rather, I've only ever made money when I knew I was going to make money before I bought the item. So a lot of people have success with, like, doing good marketing campaigns and buying stuff in bulk, and maybe, like, trying to then go and say, man, this has to sell. Anytime I've said this has to sell, I lost all my money. I lost almost 100% of my money. But if I already know the buyer ahead of time, that's how I win, and that's how I teach other people to win. Because even within my own head, and even within your average entrepreneur, if I were to say, hey, Jermaine, I'm buying and selling phones, first question would be like, who the hell's buying them? And why aren't they buying it for cheaper? Well, how are you buying it for cheaper than they? Aren't you getting them from exactly where they could get them from? And it's like, yep, I know what you're saying. I know what you're thinking. Because if you were to tell me, hey, Jeff, I'm flipping couches, I'd be like, how? I would have the same worries and same concerns. And so my biggest cornerstone lesson is invest in something that you need for yourself. And so if it doesn't sell, you just have a couch that you need for yourself, or you have a phone that you need for yourself, or whatever it happens to be. And chances are you probably got a good deal on it too. So that's the easiest way. That's the easiest way to get started without worrying about losing money.
So, yeah, let me butt in if you don't mind. Now,
sure.
just real quick on the backstory. I love it because a lot of times in this industry, people, they'll sugarcoat, they'll tiptoe, but Jeff's just real and raw. He'll give it to you how it is. He'll let you know, hey, a few months back, this is how I felt. A year ago, this is how I felt. And, as entrepreneurs, including myself, a lot of times we share wins, right? But a lot of times we don't share the losses. And so that's what I love about Jeff is that in his group, he's sharing, the wins, the losses, the how-tos, this and that. And the growth is crazy. It really is. And it's a crazy good way. And so, one, I love the backstory. Two, again, if you're not taking notes, you should be, because here's the thing. And I believe I saw you post about this, or maybe in your group or video, I don't know what it was, or a post, and you mentioned the fact what you just brought up about, let me back up. I get a lot of people that come to me as well, and they go, oh, Jermaine, well, this T-shirt will sell, or this, da-da-da will sell, when, they're getting excited to start with us. And I go, well, that's cool. We can test that. Let's back up a little bit. You know what I mean? Go with, what, is statistically going to sell seasonal-wise, or whatever the case may be. So in your case, that's a huge tip because, again, I saw your post on it, and you said something to the effect of, like you said, either posting things that you need, but also, I'm sure Jeff will get into this as well, you can post things ahead of time where you don't even have it, right, and stuff like that. So anyway, that's huge. Yeah. And but yeah, I'll give you back the floor. I love those first two points. But yeah, keep going, man.
Yeah, one of the ways you test the concept is just list. You essentially take a product that you're thinking maybe this will sell, and you list it at a certain price. So if you wanted to know how much phones are selling for in your area, well then you list the phone for a price that you think it would be profitable. And if you get people hitting you up with their phone number and want to meet up, you probably got a winner. But if no one messages you whatsoever, then you have nothing. And the other day, a guy hit me up, and he's like, yeah, I'm an electronics reseller, and he's like, you could totally crush it. And I was like, cool, okay. It was like some smartwatch knockoffs and AirPod knockoffs, but you're not trying to trick them. People know they're not knockoffs. I mean, they're not the real thing. It's above board. But I listed those products, and I haven't gotten a single message. And so it's an easy. I don't have to waste any time or any money besides just throwing up a picture and a basic description, and so now I know that that's a no-go. So that's one way to not risk money and then test the concept. And another way is to sell other people's stuff or list other people's stuff that you don't even have, and then when you find a buyer, then you go ahead and go and get it from that person and then bring it to the other person. I did this yesterday. With a phone. It was an iPhone 12, 128 gig. I wants to turn for it. We had it up a few days and it wasn't selling. But our business Instagram has a ton of followers. And Instagram people don't go on Facebook Marketplace, so they don't know the market. They don't know the marketplace prices, which are lower. And so I listed it on my business page for $700. And I don't think we got a hit on it, but it's I didn't have to go and waste $600 and stress out over that phone sitting there.
Right. No, that's huge, man. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, you have to be you have to think about what would I do if I didn't have any money, and a lot of people they actually don't have any money. But you also have to realize how bad will this feel if I buy this to resell it and it's just sitting there. Even if the rest of your business is going well, you have this one product right here that just won't move. So I think about that before I get into a new niche where I'm not sure.
Nice. I love it.
All right. So let's So the concepts of flipping everything is, first of all, start with what you know. Start with something that you want for yourself. So it can be one of those two. If it's not either one of those, you would start with the cheapest version of whatever it is and go from there. So in phones, that might be like an iPhone 6 or an iPhone 7, and you buy one of these iPhone 6s or 7s. You just spend a little bit of time trying to get the best deal, and then from there you're just relisting it for a little bit more. And that's like the bare bones of all you would ever need to do with any niche. And low and slow is what'll get it done. You want to start with an outlier deal. And one of the examples I always give is that if you saw a brand new Lamborghini for, let's say $10,000, no one would have to tell you that's a good deal. You would already know that's a good deal, and you're already pretty certain that someone will buy it for more than $10,000, especially when they retail for, I think, $240,000.
Exactly.
So for example, I'll give you a more practical example. I know that Rainbow vacuum cleaners sell new for $2,500, and I saw a guy list one last year for $500, and it looked like it was never used. He said it was never used, but it also looked like box. It was in the box, all that. And
right.
So I looked up on eBay how much they sell for, and I told my mom, I was like, wow, look, I'm going to buy a Rainbow. She used to sell them. I'm like, I'm going to buy a Rainbow for $500. The guy says it's like new in the package. And
right.
sell on eBay. It looks like they're selling for $1,500. And she goes, well,
right.
like, would you sell it to me for $900? So all I did is I went and got it from him for $500, and I brought it to my mom for $900. It was an hour-long transaction. And so,
right.
So look for deals where they're just so good you would know even if you don't know a lot about that niche.
Right.
That makes sense?
100%. Now, real quick, because I'm taking some notes on my whiteboard. Anybody that wants a picture of this, for those that are not taking notes, just kidding. But yeah. So would you call that a middleman deal in a sense? That's what I wrote down. And then, of course, they can listen to the audio.
Yeah. You could middleman a deal. You could. I have people here and there hit me up and say, "Hey, I've got this item. Can you you want to try to flip it?" And I'll see kind of where they're at as far as what they're looking for it, and then I'll do a little bit of research, and then I'll see. So let's say they have an item that they want $100 for, and if I literally didn't have any money, I would say, okay, cool. So let's say you're my friend. You want $100 for whatever it is, and I list it for $200. Whatever I get above $100, then I'll just send them your way. And then once they do the deal, then you send me the rest. And so that's a creative way to just kind of start with no money. I've done those deals a bunch of times. I have a guy that buys phones in my area.
Right.
And sometimes I don't have time to buy them. And I have his price sheet, and I'll say, hey, this person wants to sell this phone. They're coming over. They want $800, and so let's say, cool, I'll take care of them. So they go over there, and he pays them $800. And if I would have bought that deal first, to him, he would have given me $900.
Right.
So he gives them the $800, and then he transfers me $100.
Right. Okay. So I'm writing here partnerships in a sense, right?
Sorry.
In a sense.
What was that?
Partners. I said I'm writing down here partnerships in a sense, right?
Networking and what you call like an affinity partner. So somebody that does either exactly what you do, or they do what you do better, or they do something complementary to what you do, but they're really in the same industry. Affinity
partner. Cool. Got it. Man, this is gold. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, what kept me having zero success is this is probably very common. I thought I could make it without knowing anyone, without networking with anyone, without having conversations with anyone, just on my own, in my house, taking these courses from the internet, and not knowing any Jermaines or any of these other people. And the second I realized this was a mistake, that's when I met you. And within 6 months, I've been self-employed ever since. And so I don't know why, but there's like there's a lot of people that think it's some sort of virtue to be able to say they figured it out on their own. When people say that,
yeah.
I think first of all, they're just flat out lying. And
Right.
even if they were telling the truth, I think, how foolish. How many years did you waste is my question, trying to figure it out all on your own.
Yeah, 100%. I think I can attest to both sides. You know what I mean? I was that guy that came in, and I'm not going to steal the call, I promise, Jeff, but I was that guy that came in and wanted to figure it out by myself. Why? I don't know. An only child, independence, I have no idea, right? But I lost a lot of time, you know, and then I found mentors and people that helped me believe in myself more, et cetera. But, you know, so again, I can attest to both sides was the point. But, yeah, keep going, man. That's huge. Crazy value on here.
Dude, the pain of trying to do it on your own is just too much. It's just too much. And I don't know. I don't. There's many reasons why people don't take action, but there's people that do take action, but they just don't have the people around them that can like just sort of tell them that they're going in the wrong direction. You know, just very simple advice that would totally change your life. And so the idea, though, is meet someone that's on their way to being a big-time mentor that's not too expensive. Make friends with people that are sort of, let's say, a level 5 when they're like a level 2.
Right.
Those, you know, if you decide to take a course from somebody, make sure that you have access to the other students so that even if you can't maybe afford the mentor, you can at least ask other people in the group what they're doing and how they're doing it. And all those things will assist in the process way more than just sitting there in your garage trying to make money. So should I cover a little bit? I'd like to cover maybe specific on an actual topic.
Okay. Yeah. So again, I'm just taking notes.
Walk through a flip. Would that be good?
That'd be great. Definitely.
Okay. Great.
Yeah, I'm just taking notes, man. So that way, you know, like I said, anybody that listens to this audio, they want the I guess, picture of my whiteboard, right, with all these notes, then I'll go ahead and shoot that over to them. But yeah, keep going, man.
Great. So phones. In phones, there's people that are selling them local, left and right. It's a very high volume business because people are trading in phones so often. They're selling phones so often. So the supply is pretty drastic in most areas. So you're getting dozens of phones that are posted that are new deals each day that are possibles. And and then the cool part, though, is there's something called direct buyers. There's people that will buy your phone, and they'll buy it for a good amount. They'll buy it in any condition, and they'll send you their spreadsheet full of their prices, and you know how much to deduct for a broken back, a broken front, and everything in between. And so you know what price you have to get them for. That is my main objective. That is like the only kind of business that I like to pursue. Either one where I can list it and sell it before I buy it, like drop shipping, or where when I buy it, all I got to do is just get it to whoever that other buyer is, and I've got my money waiting on me that's above what I just paid. And so there's two ways to buy phones. You got people that are posting them, and you have ads. You can run free ads on Craigslist and OfferUp, or you can run paid ads on Instagram and Facebook. The paid ads thing does get sort of pretty in depth, but let's stick with like a free ad. Free ad would just be you taking a picture of a phone and writing on it, putting the text on it that just says I buy phones or I buy iPhones, and putting your number, and then boom, putting it out there, and that will get you some deals. In that case, you have the buyer captive, and they're not out there as much searching around for a price. They're asking you, and so it can be a little less competitive to do it that way. However, for most people in most cities, you're going to get most of your phones by going and searching for them on Marketplace, OfferUp, Craigslist. And And so from there, you're looking for deals that are within striking distance of the price you can pay. So, for example, if you can sell the phone over here for $300 and you know that, and this person has it listed for maybe $300 to $350, you have a shot at getting them down to $250. But if they have that phone listed for $600, that deal will never happen. So it's especially important to realize that when you get started, because if you just go out there and start making deals on every phone or offers on every phone, you're going to get a beat down. You're going to get a verbal beat down by these people, and it'll feel bad. You might quit. So you look for phones that are within striking distance. We'll say $50 to $100 of what you can pay, and you strike up a conversation with them. You find out when they can meet you. You go and meet them at a safe location inside. So well lighted in the inside of the place. So you do, like, electronics have to be more safe than almost every other niche. When I buy and sell weights, this is not a problem. They can be in the house. It can be pitch black. It can be in the middle of the night. None of that matters. It's just different. So, you strike up a deal. You make some light conversation. You find a time to meet them, and then you go meet them. And you bring them the money you said you're going to bring them. You check the phone. You make sure that the Face ID works and there's no cracks on it. There's a way to check the eye in the eye. There's a website where you check the eye in the eye to make sure it's not lost or stolen. And iPod locked, all that other good stuff. If they say it's unlocked, you can check and make sure is it actually unlocked to any carrier. So there's easy, cheap, like that. That costs 6 cents to do that on the site that I use. It's called 6W. Very, very nice little site. And and from there, you mail your phone in, and you either invoice the company up front, and they pay you up front on PayPal. Only bad part about that is you're going to pay the 3% fee. Or if it's possible for you, this is what I do. I mail them the phone, they get it, and then they send me an ACH, no fees. So that's the man, that almost feels too simple, I guess, of a process, but that's the nuts and bolts of it.
No, I mean, and I love the way that I'm going to back up and go over my notes and kind of recap when you're done here. But the last 2 points of a direct buyer, right, finding a direct buyer, I mean, and this is what I told you even when we were talking at the side of the call. I said, man, I'm anxious to get on and hear a couple things from you because, this is stuff that anybody can do, right? The kids can do, somebody that doesn't have money can do. And so finding that direct buyer, that's huge. I mean, you just literally gave a business model away. So thanks for that, Jeff, because like I said, anybody that comes in, maybe they don't have money, maybe they only got a little bit of money, they're limited, stuff like that. They can play the middleman like we talked about. They can find a direct buyer. And then the last point, striking distance, number 6 point here that I've got up here is striking distance price. That's huge because, you for me, I was trying to kind of explain that, but never have a word for it, right? I go, those things that kind of seem like they're worth a lot, but they only, you know what I mean? But they're only, they cost you 10, but they seem like it's worth 40. You know what I mean? Kind of thing, like when you buy a birthday present. Yeah. Just kidding. But really, right? It's like, this looks like $40. It's only 20 at Ross, right? Or whatever. And so when people are on a budget, and they're worried about these things, that's huge, man. So anyway, I don't know how much more you want to give. I'm cool. I'm here for it. I'm cool. I'm good. But you just gave them a ton. And so, like I said, I'll get back to you whenever you're done. Let me know, and I'll kind of recap overall, and then we'll let people know where to go to, rock with you and learn more about what you got going on.
I mean, one thing that you mentioned that struck a good point is the uncertainty of whether or not it's a good deal will keep a lot of people in limbo and never actually do any deals.
Right.
And so having a list where you know that it's a good deal already is what is sort of a difference maker. I was talking with a guy yesterday who didn't have a list, and he's like, man, I'm not finding any good deals. I was like, do you have a direct buyer list? He's like, no. I was like, well, how are you making your offers? And he's just lowballing the crud out of people. And that's what happens. That's what makes getting deals easy at times is that most people don't know what you'll know as somebody that's approaching this like a professional. They're just trying to like swing for the fences and see if somebody will go for it.
Yeah, I mean, and something like go ahead.
Well, they don't get the deal. Like I'm going to get a deal. I'm actually on the way to get a couple of deals right now, and he wanted 1,000 for one of the phones, and I know I'll get 1,055, and that's decent, but it's kind of the low end of where I'd like to be, especially with a little bit of travel. And so, if you're a newbie at it, you'd be like, oh man, I'll try to offer him 700. But for me, it's like I know it's 1,055. I know that he'll probably go for 900 without too much of a hassle. Because if you go too low, they'll just be like, yeah, you're not even serious. Just leave me alone. But if you give them a respectable offer, it's like, okay, $900, cool. I'll make 155. All I gotta do is just kind of meet you real quick.
Right.
So because I know my numbers and my bottom line, it makes it easier to make a professional, well thought out offer where I'm going to get the highest likelihood of getting the deal. And so that wraps it up. I thought that was short, but really we've been going for about 40 minutes. If you got anything else to add, or you want me to add anything, let me know.
No, man, like I said, first and foremost, thank you for coming on and giving so much value. I'm just going to recap and then kind of let people know where to go check you out, get into your group, and let you get about your deals. So what I got on my notes so far, guys, and again, if you got value, go head over, add Jeff Duhon on Facebook first and foremost. We'll tell you how to get into the group in just a minute. But if you got some value, which I know you did, go check him out. Add him on Facebook. Let them know you listen to the audio, right? Whether you're listening to this live or you're listening to this in the future, in the recording somewhere on my app or wherever the case may be. Number one, start with something you need, right? So, like Jeff said, if you need a couch, and you're looking at flipping a couch, if it doesn't work out, then at least you have a couch, right? So that aligns for everything, obviously. Middleman deal, I love that one myself, just because, I don't like more things already than we have laying around the house, you know what I mean, than we need. So that middleman deal, you go out, you find that deal, and basically you make it happen. So that was huge. Affinity partner, I really liked, and I think aligns with a lot of people in the sense of, like Jeff said, if he can't go and make a deal, if he's busy or something else, he'll find a phone for, 800 and they give 7 or whatever it is, and then he keeps the $100, right? So find a group, the next one, like Jeff said, and at this point, I don't know if you know of any other, flipper groups, but I don't, right? So your group is going to be his group, and again, I'll give you the name of that group in just a minute, but you're going to get so much value from the people just in the group, like you said. So if you can't afford, somebody else's coaching or whatever the case may be, or a course or whatever the case may be, then, find a group of people that you can reach out to. That was huge. See, number 6, we got striking distance price. I already covered that, so I won't go too much into that. Find a price that makes sense. And then give a respectable offer is number 7. So I think that's huge. I've experienced that myself, in some cases where, maybe I'm on the seller's end and someone says, hey, well, I'll give you X, Y, Z. And I'm just like, I didn't want to open their message, right? So give respectable offers. Obviously take action because, Jeff's like, I'm on my way for 2 deals, right? And so, and let me write this last thing down. I almost lost it, but he said something earlier that triggered it, is you can't track. This is what came to mind when he said something earlier. You can't track what you can't measure, right? So have that list. Have that direct buyers list. That's huge. It's a business model in itself. I guess, Merry Christmas from Jeff, right? And again, if you use that technique and it works, drop it into Jeff's inbox and say, dude, it worked, because that's what we thrive on, right? At least so I can speak for myself. I thrive on people winning and succeeding, and a lot of times they win, they succeed, and you don't hear from them for 2 to 5 years, or you just don't hear from them. You say, the guy just bought a XYZ, but I guess he doesn't know me anymore, kind of thing. So that's how we win, and that's cool too, right? Nobody owes us anything. But at the end of the day, we thrive off of wins. So make sure you reach out. You thank Jeff for the business model that he gave you today, and you can do that by going over to his group on Facebook. Just type in Smart Flippers. He said it quite a few times. earlier. Not sure if everybody caught it. And basically, it's an open group with a ton of value. And I think he's got, about 300-plus people in there now, or getting close to that, Jeff?
We're at 240, I think, somewhere in that range.
Okay, sweet. And growing. And so I'm sure, that's going to be at 500 in no time. Obviously this audio is going to be passed around, hundreds of times, in the future. And so, everyone make sure to head over there. And I don't have much else. Jeff, you got anything else? You can chime out.
Let's see. Yeah, if you want more help on this, I will help you. I post all my deals in my group. And if you want to take it to the next level, I do offer some coaching, from everything from ads to phone flipping and some Facebook drop shipping and done-for-you services there. So there's a lot of different ways to get it based on your interest. And for me, it's important that you're getting a lot of value and that you're able to take action on that and get to the next step. That's all there is to it.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Like I said, I'll let you get about your deals, and look out for part 2. We're going to do a webinar in the future, in the near future, and obviously get some more value there from a point of view where you can actually see the screen. Maybe walk you through a couple of things, but like Jeff said, hit him up. He's got quite a few things he can offer you, and if you got no money, at minimum, get in the group. Start to take action on what he's giving away for free, because it's huge. I haven't saw a group in a while, I'll say, at least, that's giving away as much value for free that he's giving, right? And so get in, make some money, and if you're at a position where you don't want to do a lot of this stuff, like Jeff just mentioned, he's got some other options, all right, where you can, there's stuff that can get done for you. So again, thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you. I'll reach out soon, and we'll be chiming out. Let me stop the recording. Much love, everybody. Peace.